we're looking into this huge house fire, and the owner had a bunch of like ammo stored in the basement of this house. So the fire was actually making the rounds go off. So it sounded like the fire was shooting at us.
Fire shooting at us.
Welcome everybody to your first Brush Buddies podcast.
Woo! Welcome.
Welcome everybody. So I'm sure you probably have a lot of questions. You're probably sitting there wondering, who are these people? Why did I pick this podcast?
Yeah, who are we?
What's a brush buddy?
I don't know.
That's concerning. But I think these are valid questions. And to start things off, I'm here with my good buddy Andrew Wordhouse, John
Hello.
Taberner,
Hey.
and me, Logan Ball. But let's run through a little Q&A, give people a little taste of who we are.
Yeah, tell them
A little flavor.
what exactly is Brush Buddies?
So from your perspective, Andrew, how did the Brush Buddies start?
So the Brush Buddies started not even as a podcast idea, but it more happened out of just coincidence. Because Logan and I both have like the same night routine, and we would both go to the bathroom every night together. We wouldn't plan it, but we would just show up and I'd walk in.
Yeah, it started
he'd
as
be
like
there.
a random thing, right? Like I would just walk in and be like, it was one of those things where I see you in there and I'm like, oh my gosh.
He's like,
It's like,
this guy again.
yeah.
So I started calling him my brush buddy.
I
And
hated that so much.
He was not a fan of it at all.
I
Not
hated
even
it.
a little bit.
I was like, Andrew, you cannot go around just calling people, like telling people that we're brush buddies.
Brush buddies.
I was like, please no.
But over time, it wore down on him. And the concept for the podcast came from the conversations we had while we were brushing our teeth and washing our faces at the same time every night.
Yeah. And it just happened out of nowhere. The term brush buddies grew on me, and that is now the name of our podcast. So that's cool. What about you? What about your perspective, John?
So my side of the story is a lot shorter. It
That's okay.
involves me seeing you guys brush your teeth and have fun at around the same time that I did. So I just jumped in on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
Exactly.
happened.
Like a new character has appeared.
Yeah.
We just took you in. Now you're the main.
I was a guest a couple times, and then you guys were like, why don't you just like stay
Yeah, why
every night?
Why don't you brush your teeth with us?
Yeah,
every
so
single
I
night.
did.
Sweet.
And we're here.
What is the brush buddies, Andrew?
What is the Brush Buddies? Good question, Logan. For me, it's a fun and sort of instructive way for us to share our stories and our memories, experiences, our opinions on things. It's more of just an outlet for expressing who we are and our friendship with each other.
What about you, John?
For me, it started out, well, you saw how I got involved. It was just like, I wanted to have fun with you
Yeah,
two. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to get to know you. So for me, it was really just, let's get to know each other. Let's grow closer.
Yeah.
And then now that we're sharing this with people, let's grow closer and with our listeners.
Yeah,
So
I think that's cool. Yeah, I think that it's a way for us to get you guys in the loop of like the fun interactions we've had while
Yeah.
brushing our teeth. You know, just fun stories. We'd love for you guys to like adopt a nightly routine with us. Like we want you guys to listen to our podcast at night while you're doing your nightly routine, whether that's brushing your teeth, you know, washing your face, just whatever you do right before you get to bed. And I think that's just really the time you should listen. I think that's because it's just kind of like the feeling like you're right there with us. I think that's
It's
cool.
a good wind
Yeah.
down. So if you're listening at night, grab those toiletries, get to brushing, get to washing.
What do you guys think makes us different?
Well, I think what makes us different is the type of podcast we are. A lot of podcasts I feel like you do while you're driving or doing a task or something like that. This podcast is really geared towards people who are getting ready for bed and, you know, gonna go to sleep. It's also sort of supposed to be like a supplement for whatever you usually do. A lot of times people just sit on their phone and scroll for hours or are watching a movie until late into the night, or it's supposed to be more of a relaxing take on getting ready for
it's
that.
a way to relax you from the chaos of the day. You know, it's a good way to just an escape. I think it's just a good resource to have if you just had a long day. You know, you always need something to wind down. I feel like it is, you know, a really good point to just find something that relax you right before you go to bed. Something to get you off social media, the crap that's on there. I think that's what really makes us different. What about you, John? You agree?
Yeah, I agree. Whenever I want something like for when I'm getting tired and going to bed, I'll do like an audiobook or something like that.
Yeah.
So I prefer the nights like those rather than the nights where I'm continuously watching a show, like episode after episode, which, you know, that's fine every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this is a great way to distract yourself from the normal repetitive scrolling and deep diving that doesn't have an end.
Yeah,
so this has an end. We'll get you to sleep
right around that 30-minute mark, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot for it. We'll try our best. And Andrew asked a really good question to us before we started this: is what makes us valuable? What do you think that is, Andrew?
Yeah. Why should you guys listen to us? And I would say that we provide some fun and entertaining stories, but also at the end of every episode, we try and recap with some encouragement based off those stories.
Absolutely.
And we want our opinions and stories to be relatable. Mm-hmm. And we think that they are in many cases.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about things that like everyone goes through, embarrassing moments.
Exactly. I think that's really important. I just think that you guys being able to relate to our stories is something that would be very valuable, knowing that everyone goes through stuff, you know, and we'll get into some deeper topics. We'll get into some funny things. Yeah. So I think that's cool. And I think it's up to you guys why you guys want to listen. Right, John?
Yeah, I agree.
So that being said, I think we're going to give you a little taste of what we're going to be usually doing. I think we're going to talk about just a chaotic experience, like something that just like got your heart rate up, something chaotic or just exhilarating in general.
Yeah.
So I can kick it off with my story real fast.
All right. What do you got, Logan?
All right. Let me set the stage for you. So I'm at home. This is right when quarantine happened. So we all came home from college.
Okay.
And I'm in my room and my dad calls me down from the living room. I was like coming.
This is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was just out of the ordinary. Usually it's not my dad. Usually it's like mom or someone.
Yeah.
So I run.
So you know something's up.
Yeah, I knew something was happening. So I go downstairs and dad was like just looking out the window with my brothers, my sister, and a few of our buddies that I assume my lifelong friends were there at the house too. And there's just smoke barreling out of the woods. We live out in the middle of the country. No. So there's just smoke barreling out of the woods. So we all go outside and we realize that we thought it was like a forest fire. We're like, how random is that?
Did you see any fire?
We didn't see any fire. It's just
a lot of smoke.
A lot of smoke. Like
so you know there's a fire somewhere.
We knew that something was like it was pretty close by.
That's scary.
Yeah. So we all were like, let's go find the source of this because it looked like it may have been on our land too. So dad was like, so me and I think if I count correctly, there were 7 of us.
Okay. 7.
We jump in our like 2-seater like utility vehicle, like a side-by-side or a Rhino.
So it's a little overpacked.
Yeah, it's packed. I mean, some people call them like gators. I'm just trying to set a picture for what we're talking about.
Yeah, I call it a gator.
A gator. Yeah, a lot of people call them different. So we jump in this, but it's just used for 2 people. So
you had 7 in there.
7 of us jump up in this thing, and we take off up this steep cornfield. And, you know, we're trugging along. We get to the top of the hill. We all get out, and we're just sitting there in awe. We see a massive house fire.
Oh, my gosh.
It was awful.
Oh, no. This is one of your neighbors?
Yeah, it was our, like, neighbors in quotation marks. They're pretty far away. But
okay, yeah.
But we hop out of the Rhino, and we're looking into this huge house fire. And the owner had a bunch of, like, ammo stored in the basement of this house. So the fire was actually making the rounds go off. So it sounded like the fire was shooting at us.
Fire shooting at us.
So it was crazy. It was like a huge fire, and there's like shots. It was the most chaotic thing ever. But you won't. The craziest part hasn't even happened yet.
Oh,
so as
the whole house on
out
fire.
of everything
is not
that's happened,
this is So as we're standing there watching this huge fire, I hear my sister turn around and say, "Fire!" And we're like, "Yes, Becca." Like,
yes,
fire.
Yes, we're looking at it.
Like, good, Becca, good. And we turn around, and our utility vehicle is on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
A bunch of husking, when we were going up the cornfield, which is just the strippings off like the cob, had got up underneath the motor, and with it being like overrunning, it caught on fire.
No.
So we turn around, we
so ironic.
immediately take off jackets and shirts. Some of us take our shirts off, and we're like trying to pat out this fire. And it's getting so bad. We're in someone else's cornfield, and it's starting to spread.
Do you know the people?
Yeah, it's our good neighbors. They're dairy farmers. So we were like, oh shoot. So my dad, being the redneck that he is, he hops into the rhino.
That's on fire.
That is on fire, correct. And
okay, all right.
peels out.
Oh my god.
0 to 100, zooming
On a flaming vehicle.
Through a dry cornfield.
Through a dry cornfield. Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
key
gosh.
here, Andrew.
Oh my
Okay,
word. Oh,
here's
no.
where it gets bad. When you put air
it's,
into
it's bad at this point.
I shouldn't be laughing. That image in my
when
head.
you put
of
air
someone-
into a fire, I don't know if there's any fellow Boy Scouts out there, but if you put any air into a fire, it gets bigger, like drastically. Air and fire, like it's like a fueling. It's a fueling effect. So as my dad is flying through this cornfield, there's a massive fireball behind him.
Oh my gosh.
And it is leaving tire flame marks behind him all the way through this cornfield. Like we were
Oh
running
my
behind
word.
him, putting out the fire, and my sister, oh
I
my
can
gosh,
just
bless her
imagine
heart, she was freaking out. She's like, "Dad's gonna explode! Dad's gonna explode!" She's like, he's gone." She was like burying her face into my my arm. She's like crying, and I was like,
Poor girl.
I mean, I wanted to soothe her, but I was like, man, I don't know if he's gonna make it. I was like, oh my. I was like, it would look.
You wanted to see.
It
say
was
he's
bad
okay.
enough to where when he was running away, there was a good flame coming out from behind him.
Oh my word.
So
Does
here's
it look like what was it, like Back to the Future, where like the flames?
Yeah.
Off
Like you
off the
see those
DeLorean.
tire flame
I bet
marks.
that looked epic. It
It was
probably
just catching the
devastating,
whole
but
field on fire.
Oh,
Did you get any
gosh.
photos by chance?
No.
I know you were.
It's
I know
like
you were a little
the
distracted.
field is
but-
on fire. Oh, let's get a picture.
Yeah, it's like everyone line up. Let's get a picture with the tire fire. This will be artsy. Smile, Dad might be dead, but let's all take a quick picture. Jeez. No, we did not get a picture
Oh, okay. Well,
Just
So-
quarantine things.
on Facebook or Instagram. So here's another really funny part. Our neighbors were sitting on their back porch watching this house fire, and where we had parked on the top of the hill was out of their view. So they saw all 7 of us chug up this hill, and they were probably laughing. They're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Maybe they got pictures.
Maybe.
Video. I would
So
love
then,
to see it.
out of nowhere, they see my dad absolutely Dukes of Hazzard jump over this little mountain thing and is just flying towards the house completely on fire. And after that, I'm sure that put him in shock. But after that, they see 7 kids, some of us with no shirt on, running through the cornfield with my sister going, "He's gonna die, he's gonna explode." Like, oh my. It was, they probably thought we were idiots. But so we went to go watch a house fire, and we turned out that we were
you were the house fire.
we were a bad fire ourselves. So that was tragic. That was very chaotic. Long story short, it resolved well. Dad got it back to the house and hosed it down. Was able to stop the fire, but we had a lot of repairs to do on that thing. But yeah, actually, my dad's work jacket, the jacket he was using to put out the fire, had melted. So we still have the jacket. The whole back was just
Wow.
melted out. Yeah,
Was he okay?
he was fine. He got a big earful from my mom for
Oh.
trying to drive this thing back home, and it was bad. Like
well,
that.
I mean, his options were pretty limited. I guess.
Yeah, I think looking back, I think he may have made the right decision because it was either he didn't really care about the rhino.
Yeah.
He cared about this guy's cornfield. We had to put out a good amount of small fires.
Yeah.
So I respect him for that quick decision, the fatherly decision. But he did put his life on the line there. I don't want to be dramatic, but that thing could have exploded.
Yeah, no, that's so scary.
But that's my chaotic story, but it's kind of funny too because
That would be really interesting to hear, like, his perspective. I was like,
yeah, maybe we'll have him on one
yeah,
time.
so I was out of decisions, so I hopped in it and decided to just drive.
I was like, my fatherly instincts kicked in. I was like, let's drive. That's mine.
Man,
what
if you
about
had,
what's
sorry,
that?
if you had just like footage of that could be like an epic like slow mo like montage.
It
be
would have been
perfect,
on a
actually.
lot of Instagram
like
pages,
AFV. You could have. Like,
It was
You could have
crazy.
killed it.
but
I don't know. The babies always win on AFE.
They really do.
the babies.
The babies always win.
It's true. The baby always.
Oh,
Never
my
mind. I'm sorry. Let's go. Okay.
What do you think? What's yours, John?
All right, John, let's hear it.
Okay, so mine is about when I went to Barbados like 5 or 6 years ago with a big group from my church. We went down there and did some work.
Okay.
On our way back, well, let's start in the airport. So in Barbados, the time doesn't matter. Like everywhere you go, it's like just things happen when they happen, and there's not really schedules or anything, which
It's part of their culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's very relaxed and it's really nice, honestly. Like just get things done when they get done and
Yeah.
it'll all be all right. Very chill. Really like it. Anyway, we got to the airport ready to go back to Atlanta for our connecting flight back to Columbus. So we had 2 flights.
Okay.
We were in the airport well past when we were supposed to leave.
Do you
on
like
that flight.
airports?
I do like airports. I think they're like, especially the one, I'll get to it, the Atlanta airport. It's huge. It's like a mall. It's like,
I despise them. Keep going.
why do you hate them?
They stress me out.
Well, I
you
get
put
that,
someone who's
yeah.
high strung in an airport.
They're so
No,
they're
I get
cool,
that,
though.
though. They're pretty
I
cool,
like
but
them.
Yeah,
it
they
makes
may be
sense
cool,
because
but they always make it like you're going to miss your flight at any point if you don't
Yeah.
do X, Y, Z. I hate that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Keep going.
sometimes they're hard
I
to
just hate
navigate.
airports.
Anyway. Sorry, I got distracted. What was I saying? Barbados
You were in
airport.
it,
We
the
were
Barbados
late.
Airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were late getting onto our flight.
Okay.
And that flight is like 6 hours. So we get on the flight, we get there, and we are cutting it very, very close. We had like 30 minutes to get to our gate to catch our connecting flight. And also, side note, I had to pee so bad. I really, really had to go.
You're one of those
but-
squirrel bladders, aren't you?
This is the
Well-
perfect combo. You know, you're late to your flight and you can't pee.
Yeah, it was really great.
You're setting yourself up for failure is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I had 6 hours to use the bathroom on the plane, and I had to pee right when we landed. So anyway, we get off the flight, and we are racing to get to our next flight.
Where?
Um,
wait, which airport is this?
This is Atlanta, and
Okay.
it's massive. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely the biggest one in the U.S., maybe in
No,
the world.
thank you.
It is very big. We race through customs, and then we get to the like bag check. It's like a separate one for if you're getting on another flight. It's like
Okay, yeah.
whatever.
It's almost like the
Um,
people there are just trying to ruin your experience.
Yeah, it's like a maze in there.
Yeah, there's
You
so
so
many
many
have a lot of
checkpoints
anger
and-
for.
I
for
hate
just
airports.
really does-
I'm
you have
so
a
sorry.
vendetta
I don't
against
mean to be.
airports.
I just keep trashing. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
So we get to the check, like where you check your bags, and in Barbados, the airport in Barbados,
Yeah.
my dad got a big bottle of hot sauce.
Oh yes.
And
okay.
So when you get your bags checked, you're not supposed to have anything more than 3 ounces. But since he bought it in the airport, it's like safe.
It's
or
safe.
like it's
I
fine.
can see
Yeah.
your dad
And
being
it
like,
had like
John, wait a second. I got to pick up a bottle of hot sauce.
yeah. Well, we were there for so long.
He's a
It's like,
touristy
we got
dad. That's
some-
adorable. Oh, wow. I love that.
So
I need to meet him.
it had like the sticker on it, and like it was good to go. But the guy at the bag check would not let him have it. Like he was like
See, that's
arguing.
what I'm saying. They're just there to ruin your day. Just let the
Here's-
guy take his dang hot sauce.
Yeah, like
Like, come on.
it was clearly bought in the airport. It was labeled correctly, and
Jeesh.
he was keeping us like from moving on to like
Animals.
go to our next to the gate. And so they argued for a little bit, my dad and the guy, and
Yeah.
he was like, I can't let you have this. Like
I can't let you.
we
take
gotta
it.
leave it. It's
I
not.
just can't
it's
let
too,
you have your hot sauce.
It's too big. Like you can't. I'm not allowed to let you. So he was adamant, and he would not. And my dad just got so frustrated. We were going to miss our flight, so we just left it. And we went on without it. He was really upset about it. Sorry, Dad.
I would have looked him right in the eyes and I'd be like, you're going to
Give
drink
me
this
that.
with me.
I'm getting my money's worth. I'm going to drink it all right now.
I would have drank it all, man. Jeez.
So
Was it expensive hot sauce?
I don't think so, but it was
It was the principle of it, though.
you could only get it there. It was from Barbados.
It's
Anyway,
unique.
we get past the bag
I
check.
can find out on Amazon.
Do it. We'll bring it on the next episode.
All right.
Anyway, past bag check. We're running
Yay.
up a little slope, and there's these people there saying you can still make your flight. Like they knew which flight we were going to, and they asked us, and they took our bags, and they were like, "You can still make it. Go!"
At least these
So-
people are nice.
Yeah, they were cool. They took our bags, and we were running through the airport. We got on the train. There's a train that goes underground.
This is
and-
like a Home Alone scene.
yeah,
like
honestly,
you're
it felt
sprinting
like
through
the
the
Amazing
Yeah,
Race.
that's true. They're
yeah.
running through the
I have
airport.
another story that is like the Amazing Race.
If this story ends with you getting on a plane separate from your parents, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I'll start calling you Calvin.
Kevin.
So,
Oh,
yeah, it's Kevin.
sorry, Kevin.
It's okay. Sorry, Kevin. Anyway, we get to our gate, I think 5 to 10 minutes before the flight was supposed to leave. So we were pretty excited, we were going to make it. We get there, and there's a big crowd of some of the people that were with us, and then a bunch of other people too. Probably 30 total, I think. I don't know. It was a big group around the desk right next to the gate. And there was a lot of yelling and a lot of fighting and a lot of noise. And apparently the flight left early so that,
What?
it doesn't
those
make any
ladies
sense.
lied to you?
Yeah, so
I called them nice. That's the only nice thing I had to say.
Well, I think they were rooting
Hey,
for
hey,
us.
hey!
They were-
They might have. They might not have. known.
It sounded just like poor communication. But
Oh, dang.
we thought we were going to make it. We gave them our bags when they said we could make it, and the flight had already gone at that point. It was already out to leave.
I didn't realize
And-
that they were allowed to do that. Just leave 30 of their passengers behind.
Yeah, it's weird because it was such a big group that was going to be on that flight back to Columbus, and they just left early with a bunch of empty seats, which it's so bizarre. But
you lose money from that.
yeah, and we, through all the chaos that happened at the desk, they gave us a little blanket and some toiletries and said, we don't have anything else for
Have
you.
fun.
You're going to have to stay here or something or find a hotel. I think it was some holiday weekend, so all the hotels were
Well,
booked.
did they give you a good toothbrush?
I still have the blanket they gave us.
Okay.
It was a tiny little square of a blanket, but I ended up
That's awesome.
actually, we had to stay overnight because our flights were the next day, and I ended up having a blast in the airport.
I'm glad.
It's a huge airport. I
That-
rode the train in circles for an hour, probably. I don't actually know.
Yeah.
Do you know those sidewalks that move?
Oh,
I
yeah.
sprinted
The moving
down one of
sidewalks?
those because there was nobody on them. I hit the steady ground at the end and just face planted. But I had the time of my life running around this airport. It was so much fun.
That would be so fun.
It was
That'd be so
really fun. And me and my friends that were there, we had a great time. A lot of the adults that were with us,
Yeah,
they're
all
pretty
miserable.
cranky.
Upset, yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh,
I slept
naturally.
like an angel on the floor. Everyone else didn't get a wink.
I'd be
of
one sore cookie. Or one.
One.
I
What
would-
saying were you going for? I have no idea what you were trying to say.
I have no idea.
There's tough cookie,
One-
but
one
that's
sore.
not.
I would have been.
One sore cookie.
I would have been
sore.
one sore.
Our cookie's normally sore.
Well, John, I'm glad you missed your flight, but you had a good time.
It was a good time.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It was very chaotic.
That would have been
But it was a
so
good time.
chaotic.
Yeah.
I can't believe you made it there and the flight just left early.
I know, and the hot sauce. We didn't even make the flight.
Don't forget the hot sauce.
I know.
Wow.
Oh
My dad was pretty upset about that, but shout out to my dad.
Did he go back and is like, all right, well,
No, it was long gone.
we got time to dance. Let's do this.
You want to tussle? Get the hot sauce.
Fight the guy. Wow.
So that's my story. Pretty
Sweet.
chaotic, pretty fun.
Thank you for sharing. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good
You're
story.
welcome.
All right, Andrew. It's your spotlight. It's your time to shine, man.
My time to
can't-
shine.
I
All right.
cannot
All right.
wait.
So
I think also before you start, I think we will go over a little 30 minutes, but I think that's okay.
Okay. I hope I hope
Little
for all the
bonus.
listeners out there that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
If not, you can kill it at 30.
You can leave now.
Mid.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Get
hey.
Get out, please.
We had to do a little introduction. Most episodes will be right on 30,
It's
so don't worry.
fine.
Go for it, bud.
We'll be good. All right. So for my story, I got to give a little bit of background because otherwise none of this will make sense. So during the summer, I usually work at a Bible camp in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
UPPBC.
Yes, UPBC. UPBC. And
UPBCBC.
You be
No. It's an awesome
Got it.
Oh my word. I love the camp. It's awesome. And there are two groups of people that make up something we call the summer staff up there. There's, the guys and the girls, and there's like 12 to 14 of each.
Is this like a prestigious group?
Prestige. Well, I mean, if you grow up a camper, it's kind of prestigious.
Cool. Keep going.
But yeah. So I was on staff that summer that this happened, and you work pretty hard up there. Okay. You get up early in the morning and you work late into the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And so about every 2 weeks, they try and give you a break. One guy and one girl both gets a break, and they call it your day off. Okay. So you're pretty close with all the people up there. I'm friends with everyone on staff. So, it's not awkward or anything like that. And me and this girl named Kayla decided to go into town. Marquette is the biggest city up there near where UPBC is.
That's a cool name, Marquette.
Marquette. It's pretty dope.
I'm going to name my first kid Marquette.
You're a cool name.
So we go into Marquette, and naturally the first thing I wanted to do is visit a cathedral.
Of course.
Because
what else would you do?
That's exactly what. If I went to a place Marquette, I was like, okay, Google Maps, where's the nearest cathedral?
Where is it?
I must go to the nearest cathedral. Where is it?
It's like on the 10 most popular things to do in Marquette.
Why did you want to see a cathedral?
Go to the
so bad?
beach. Go to the pier. Go to the cathedral.
I may pick beach, but that's pretty cool.
No, I don't know. It's pretty. It's obviously pretty big, so you can see it when you're driving around. And I'm like, Kayla, I've never been in a cathedral. I would love to just walk inside. And she's like, sure, let's do it. So we pull up, and just to give you some context, this cathedral is on the left, and we park on the right, and right in front of us is a police station.
Oh, no.
Which will be important for later.
Do you end up getting arrested?
I do not get in.
Okay.
I do not end up getting
We're
arrested.
actually recording this in a prison cell.
We're actually at a juvenile detention center.
Spoiler alert. No. So we walk into the cathedral, and there's this opening room, okay, like the lobby area, and then there's more doors that lead to the sanctuary, where a service is currently in progress.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What time was it?
It was probably 3 in the afternoon.
Okay,
maybe.
so yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
But
It wasn't nighttime.
There's
Okay.
a service happening. And so I look around in this lobby, and I look to the left, and I see this staircase that goes to somewhere, and I'm like, that staircase is calling me. I gotta go
Must
up it.
climb stairs.
Yeah.
It's almost like you had a built-in GPS. It's just like, take a right at staircase. And you're like,
Yeah, I was
yes,
like,
yes.
all right.
All right.
I
go.
understand.
It won't leave me.
It's like your HUD.
So I go up the staircase, and it opens up into a big storage room. Okay, there's a bunch of like junk stacked in like, I think it's like pews and chairs and stuff you would find in a cathedral storage room. And in the corner of the room, like probably 7 or 8 feet off the ground, there's this ladder that goes 40 feet directly upwards.
Are you scared of
40
heights?
feet?
40 feet, yeah, because so on both sides of the cathedral are like these big towers.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
with
okay.
bells in
Okay.
them. And so Kayla and I think we might have moved some stuff underneath the ladder to make this work, but the ladder has like this cage around it to prevent people like me from climbing it. And it didn't stop us, because you can actually you can move some stuff, grab onto the ladder, pull yourself up, and climb like around the back of it and get into the cage. And climb up.
So you finessed the system.
Yeah.
Sweet. At this point, did you feel like you were like on an adventure at this point?
At this point, I was like, man, this is this is one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you get into those little areas where like you feel like you're doing something cool, you're like, this is like an adventure. You watch movies, you're like, I always wish I would find something cool like that, like just a ladder that goes 40 feet in the air, and be like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's just climb.
I applaud you for taking this
well,
trip.
For all those listening, I don't approve
I
of
don't applaud
trespassing.
you at all for taking this trip.
Yeah.
Don't trespass.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Bad.
Very bad.
Bad.
Bad,
So
Andrew.
we climb up this ladder, and at the top of it is a trap door. Okay. And naturally, it's not locked because they think their security is foolproof. They don't need to put a lock at the top.
What do these cathedrals know about security?
Yeah, seriously, come on. So we open
First
the hatch.
airports, now you're trashing on cathedrals.
What, you're gonna trash on Cornfields next or something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's a
And
trap door.
There's a trap door, and we enter this room. Okay, and it's this more open up room with a ladder in the middle going up. And you guessed it, there's a trap door at the top of that one too.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
And if you make a right, there is like scaffolding or like a catwalk that leads over the top of the entire sanctuary,
That's
which is dope. And so we spent a little time just like checking things out, and you can actually look out the window up there and see like out over the city of Marquette. It's
That's
pretty dope.
awesome.
It's
That's
a really cool look.
Yeah.
Or a really cool view. And I decided that I had spent enough time looking around. It was time to go to the next level. And by that, I mean the next level. And I tried climbing that ladder that led to where the bell actually sat for this bell tower. And I get to the top of it, and the trapdoor's heavy. Like, it's not meant to be open, probably.
Yeah.
And so I start pushing on it. And now this ladder doesn't have any railings. And it's made of wood, so it's kind of like wobbly. And I start pushing on it, and I get it open a little bit, and then all of a sudden the bell just goes off.
Oh,
And,
man.
you
could have been deafened.
it's like a massive bell.
It
and
rung
I-
your
And
bell.
I'm probably 4 feet from it. And I like fall backwards a little bit.
Oh,
and I
geez.
grab
that's
onto
so
the ladder.
scary.
And it was at that point that I made the logical decision that maybe it was the best time for me to leave. So
Yeah,
instead
maybe.
of going
Oh,
up,
yeah.
I climbed back down the ladder, and Kayla and I decided to leave. And it was just as much of a challenge getting down that ladder without making a lot of noise. Because remember, a service is happening, right?
Oh, geez, yeah.
If we're making a bunch of noise above them, all of a sudden they'll be like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
I know that the chairs in that storage room aren't moving themselves. So we climb down the ladder, and we get out of the building, and that's when we remember that there's the police station right out in front of us. And
You're getting out of there.
if we had got caught, they're not even gonna have to get in their squad car to come get us.
Yeah.
So
That's chaos, man.
it was very exhilarating.
Okay, yeah, that's under the category
It was
exhilarating.
It was
I would have fallen off
crazy.
that ladder. If someone came up, like, I was super high up and
Yeah.
someone blasted an air horn in my ear, I would have just plummeted. Like, that's terrifying.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That's a good one, Andrew.
Thank you.
That is a good one.
So it's safe to say that chaos happens,
It definitely does.
Yeah. We can transition into our encouragement here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's safe to say that the stories that we share, it's just gonna happen. Everyone's gonna have chaos in your lives, but I mean, we're still here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're still here. It happens, and I think that you can really look back on it as times of like learning. Sometimes some things that are chaotic turned out to be like a fun experience, like your airport
Mhm.
or like the little adventure you go on. But you were bad for trespassing, Andrew.
Bad.
I'm
Bad.
sorry.
Bad.
Bad.
Shame on you.
What do you have to say, John?
Yeah, stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does, you can either put a positive spin on it
Mm-hmm.
or you can worry about it.
Yeah.
And one of those leads to good outcomes, and the other one always
Absolutely.
leads to bad.
Yeah.
Some of you listening could be laying there having just an absolute awful day, and I think
I hope not, but if you
yeah,
are,
yeah, I hope not. But I think it's good to it's what's happened's already happened. I think you should just try to relax.
and I've
Tomorrow's
noticed
a new day.
I've noticed that for myself when I have those horrible days and just everything is going wrong. Those usually make for the best stories.
Exactly.
Those usually
Mhm.
make actually pretty interesting memories.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So hopefully you guys can relate a little bit to those stories.
Yeah,
And
I hope so.
hopefully at this point you guys are getting ready to tuck yourself in and go to bed, brushing your teeth.
Hopefully your face is washed.
Absolutely. But I hope you guys can listen in on the next episode. I'm excited to get another recording down.
It's good to have you here.
It's good to have you guys here.
Thank you for listening. We
This
really
is-
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
if you made it this far, we really
This is
appreciate
nice.
it. This is a blast. But I think with that being said, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
See ya.